Hey everybody, Jackson Maddox here, and today we're going to be covering 3 underrated neighborhoods in the Nashville area. So as many people know, there's a lot of really hot spot areas where prices are always soaring. There's a lot of competition, and a lot of people wish they could have gotten into them 5 years ago, but are priced out now and are looking for another place to go. Maybe they want to invest in a property to rent out. They maybe want to just move their family there and get into a place that they can actually afford. So I have compiled 3 neighborhoods that I really think are on the verge of blowing up and are still in a reasonable price range that you can get into, and are all in close proximity to some really cool areas of Nashville where the prices are actually a lot higher, and so you have a lot more local amenities. So the first 2 neighborhoods that we're going to do are Woodbine and Glencliff. So starting with Glencliff, both of these neighborhoods are very close together, so they're going to be very similar numbers, but I figured it would be worth it to separate the 2 because they are 2 distinct areas. Primarily, they are split by Thompson Lane, which is a big road that can take you to a lot of different spots in the southern part of the city. So we have first Glencliff. The median house price in Glencliff is $400,000. So you're looking at a price point already that is far and away lower than a lot of these really, really hot areas. You can find a lot of stuff here that is in the 300 range, all the way up to the 500s and 600s if you want to go a little bit higher and make your money go farther than it would for that same price in a nicer area. That number, that 400,000 number, is actually up 8.1% since last year. So you're seeing the growth happen pretty rapidly, but this is still one of those areas that people are not talking about as much in the wider consciousness of the city. So it's one of those places that's kind of quietly growing, and you can, before the big businesses, the big local staples start to come in, you can really get in there and be ahead of the curve. So like I mentioned, these areas are all in proximity to areas that have already kind of blown up and have a lot going for them. Glencliff is very close to the Berry Hill area. So in Berry Hill, we covered that in another video. I'll link that below. That is a huge hotspot for recording studios, and along with that, you have a lot of great businesses. There's, all the staples are down there, and then of course you have some great local spots like Vui's Kitchen, Mofongo Cafe, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Baja Burrito, the list goes on. So you're only 10 minutes down the road from that, which is great. But then if you want to stay in the Glencliff area, there's also a bunch of other great stuff. You've got the Nashville Zoo not far away. You have the Music City Thrift, a really great thrift store in the city that people love, right there on Nolensville Pike. You've also got Deg Thai, which is a super good, super popular Thai place. And so, that's just a few of the places. There's a bunch of hidden gem restaurants around here. Like I said, very close proximity to the highways. You can get to different parts of the city very easily. Just overall kind of a hidden gem. Now, that takes us into the Woodbine area. Numbers here are pretty similar. You got $398,000 is the median home price. You've got about 2.6% growth in that area. This area is a little bit behind Glencliff. Glencliff's a little bit ahead of the curve of where Woodbine is, but it's pretty comparable, generally speaking. You don't have as many of the higher end properties there, like the $500,000-$600,000 ones, but you do have a lot of stuff in the 300s, the 400s. It really in the 300s, you're going to see a lot of stuff there. So great place to also to get in, kind of at that price point. In the Woodbine area, there is a great little park called Winsett Park. It's pretty long, so there's a playground over there if you've got kids. There's a little offshoot river that comes off the Cumberland that runs by there that the park runs along. So good little nature areas there, and it's growing. There's a lot of great restaurants around as well. These are maybe not the most known places in town that get all the social media coverage, but they've got a lot of really good ones. Two spots that I highly recommend are El Cubalete and Gojo. El Cubalete is a really good Mexican place. It's kind of a hole in the wall. Dave's actually the one who recommended it to me, and it is a very authentic, great Mexican place. And then you have Gojo, which is an Ethiopian place, and it is awesome. If you've never tried Ethiopian food, you should definitely give it a look. It's a place that, or a type of food that a lot of people have never tried before. And so I think it's really cool that there's something just right there in that area that you can get to. All in all, Woodbine and Glencliff are right next to each other, so there's going to be a lot of overlap in those close by places. But I wanted to include both because there is that slight difference. Of course, with that, you have the same proximity to Berry Hill, same amount of driving time to get over there.
Hey, if you're thinking about relocating to the Nashville, Tennessee area, well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate Nashville area relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers, best hospitals, and a boatload of other things that you're gonna need to know before you make the move to Nashville. It's completely free, it's linked below. Check out the top pinned comments. I hope that helps, and let's talk soon.
This brings us to our last of the 3 hidden gem neighborhoods in Nashville, underrated neighborhoods. This is Charlotte Park. So the thing with Charlotte Park is that it's growing the fastest out of the 3 of these. I looked at the numbers when I was doing my research for the video, and I did a double take. So the median house price right now in Charlotte Park is $703,000. But don't let that number scare you, because I lived over there and I watched the real estate market very closely, and I can tell you there are a lot of things in the 370 to 550 range. That's kind of what you're seeing. Most of the things that are going to bring that number up are going to be the new builds in the area. The builders are starting to put up HPRs. There's some pushback on that from the locals in the area, so that's kind of contentious, and it's happening here and there. And then you have a lot of older houses that are bigger or even on the Cumberland River. It's actually home to 5 homes that actually back up to the Cumberland River. And if you do any research on homes that are near the Cumberland, there's hardly any of them. So it's got one of the few houses in the city that back up to that river. And then, of course, if you go across the highway, you're right there in Sylvan Park. And Sylvan Park, similar to East Nashville, is a very trendy spot. There's a lot of really nice homes over there, and breweries, local restaurants. You have all of those really good staples. But then if you're in the Charlotte Park area and you just need to do some shopping or go and eat, there's a lot of great spots there too. So a couple of places of note in the Charlotte Park area. We have the Nashville West Shopping Center, which has, you've got your Target, your Buffalo Wild Wings, Chili's, all the chains that you would expect to see in a city. You've got that right there. But then you've got some local places. A couple of the local places are Brewhouse West. Really good, just kind of a burger and beer place. They've got some really good food on the menu and a bunch of local beers and lesser known beers on tap. So that's definitely a good spot to check out. A lot of new buildings of apartment complexes being built around there as well. So you're kind of seeing an influx of younger people coming in, which is growing the small business world there. There's more places popping up all the time. A couple of other local spots are, you've got Tailgate Brewing over there. So they have a location, that's their headquarters, and it is a really great brewery they've got food, drinks, all that stuff. And then you have Tequilas, which is a really popular Mexican place over there as well. So even if you stay in the Charlotte Park area, there's plenty of stuff to do, all the local amenities that you'd expect, like a Walmart and a Target, but you can just, take a 5 to 8 minute drive right across the highway and you're in Sylvan Park, and you have everything that Sylvan Park has to offer. Now, I will say, Charlotte Park is definitely going a lot faster the way of Sylvan Park, but there's still things in there that can be bought for in the 300s, in the 400s. So that stuff is not gone. I've worked with clients over there to find properties or to potentially list their properties, and I was seeing all kinds of stuff in those ranges. So don't be deterred by that median house price. That is just being offset by those bigger houses and the new builds that are over there. That is 3 underrated neighborhoods in the Nashville area. These places are ready to blow, but they haven't blown up just yet, which is a perfect recipe for someone who's trying to get into investing or just wants a starter home, or to get somewhere before prices become outrageous, and are willing to see a vision for the area for what it can turn into and what it will turn into over the next couple of years. Of course, if you've got any questions about that and you're interested in looking in these areas, you can always reach out to me or David. We will put our contact info in the description, and we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to give you more information if that's something that you're interested in. Stay tuned to the next video. I'm Jackson Maddox. Thanks so much.